Guys, back again. Joe McDonough here with CageSidePress.com. I'm joined by the co-main event of XFC 45, Mr. Big Dog Brett Martin. Brett, how's it going?
Good, man. How are we doing?
I'm good. I appreciate the time. About 2 weeks out from fight night. How we feeling? You know, where we at in camp, weight, everything. How's it going?
Yeah, feeling good. I'm a big boy, so I got a little bit more weight to get off. That's always part of the game is, getting the weight off towards the end of camp. But no big issues. Yeah, man, feeling good. Just got home from the gym, like maybe 20 minutes ago. So getting ready to eat some dinner with the wife and, enjoying my night. But yeah, all things are good, man. Can't complain, and excited to get back in there.
Well, I appreciate the time cutting some dinner and family time out. Won't take too long.
All good. I appreciate you as well, man.
Absolutely, man. And on a 6-fight win streak right now. I mean, talk to me about just kind of where you are in your career. I mean, you've got some great performances on that resume.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I never really think about the winning streak. I guess since I lost, I'm not undefeated no more. So
yeah.
And then with those DQs, it's hard for me to view those as complete W's, just because of the type of person I am. And I've been saying that since I had the fights, But, like Dustin Poirier said, when we wake up the next day, you got a W on your record. So, we can't complain too much about that. So, yeah, man, super happy with that. Obviously, I wish some of them were finishes and, win a different way. But, I've, like I said, I've been through the gutters and the trenches of this sport now. And, I feel like I'm a veteran, but yet I'm so young, So just going to keep trying to win, whether I lose a fight here or there, I've lost previously as a professional, it was a 5-round fight. So, losing that type of way and then coming back and having 6 fights where I've won, it feels good. And it knows that, losing can help me just as much as, it helps everybody else. So, yeah, we're just trying to get better every time. That's all I care about.
Man. And something that I've always learned from talking with fighters and having the privilege to talk with fighters is that the losses almost always teach better lessons than the big wins do on a big stage. And so, talk to me about, and this is a case for most people, from 2019 to 2021, you've had one fight, and that's obviously because of, big part because of the pandemic. Talk to me about, because you stayed busy. I believe you have 3 fights in 2019. Is that correct?
4 fights in 2019.
4 fights. So you see, even more. So here we are 3 months after your first fight in 2021, getting back in there again. Talk to me about kind of getting back in that groove of getting in the cage every, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, and I grew up wrestling. So that's the only way I can really coordinate it to anybody is, when you wrestle, man, you wrestle Wednesday and then you wrestle Saturday and then you wrestle the Wednesday and then you wrestle Saturday and it's a full season. So I've never had issues with staying active. You're always going to have your dings and your dents. Obviously, I've had, to pull out of a fight for a knee injury before. But, other than that, no big issues. So I like to stay active. I think I had, 2 or 3 scheduled fights in 2020. But, one was COVID. The other one was the guy couldn't get cleared. And, so there's been all sorts of stuff. But it's awesome with me training with the guys I train with, and some of my teammates had fights, and I was in camp. So I stayed pretty active throughout that time. So I think that's why I was so hard on myself after this last fight or even during the fight, because I was just expecting so much from myself because it had been so long. Mm-hmm. So now the pressure's off. I don't have that feeling like, oh, you got to go out there and prove something. Because now I understand that, you can't control anything in this sport. You really can't. So I'm just excited, like I said, to just get back in there and I work a full-time job, so it's hard to explain to people why you keep doing something when you're not getting fights or, the Bigfoot fight dropped out right after my wedding. So there's a lot of punches to the gut and to, I took a lot of blows the last couple years. So basically, man, not trying to, everybody's got a story, but, just happy where I'm at, man. I'm happy I'm still here and doing what I'm doing because, there's been some things that have happened in my career that you could say they've happened in other people's, but they haven't.
Yeah.
Guys don't finish people in the first round, and then that guy gets the call to the UFC before them. That type of shit don't happen.
That's very true. And tell me about kind of this attitude change, in your mindset, because like you said, you've gone through a lost professional career, you've learned lessons, you're kind of in this mindset that's, I can't control what happens. Like you just said, you can't control when you're getting that call, when this is happening, what fights are, and you're just kind of like happy to be fighting. Talk to me about that mindset, and when did that kind of change for you?
Jamal Hill, man. And, it's not even just him as a person, just being around him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Getting to go to Vegas, getting to go to Arizona and be at these fights and see these things. And you know what I mean? Him winning a lot of fights. And then, he just lost. You know what I mean? But he's the same guy today that he was before he won those fights. You know what I mean? So it's just an understanding of the sport to the fullest level. You know what I mean? Like, the UFC is the top level, man. It's the best of the best. I was in his corner for some of those fights, or I was just down there training for some of those fights. You know what I mean? So I got to see a lot and learn a lot. And, I just stopped caring, man. Like I said, I'm getting older. I just turned 27. I got my first baby on the way. Man, just got married last year. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, I mean, I'm just happy, man. I'm so blessed. Not very many people get to keep chasing their dreams, while they're an adult and have a family and be able to have a house and cars. I got 2 very reliable vehicles, a house that I live in. I got banners on the wall, belts on the wall. I'm such a happy person outside of fighting. I could never let what fighting brings to my life affect, because my family's so strong regardless. So I'm just a very lucky person all around, man. So that's kind of what keeps me in my mindsets. You know what I mean?
And a very, very powerful mindset, a very, grateful mindset that a lot of people should have, both in the sport and just in life in general.
And I tried it. And that's why, since I was young, a lot of people have always, I've always been captain. I've always, done things people said I shouldn't do. So, my mom and dad and my siblings and all my buddies that I've ever grown up, and even Jamal now. And that's what I mean. Jamal calls me if he needs something, it's just the relationship we've built. He trusts my input and I trust his. So it kind of just makes you realize, like, you're doing things right and keep following the footsteps you're following in. Mm-hmm. And dude, to be honest, I haven't lost a lot of fights. You know what I mean? Not to be cocky, but
no, that's very true.
I think 20 fights and I've only lost technically 2. You know what I mean? So you can throw those DQs in there. I wouldn't be mad because that's the sport. People are always going to view it that way. But I was in those fights and I never said no. You see guys quitting in fights. I've never quit in a fight. So like I said, man, I'm just a lucky person to have the mindset that I have, because it kind of just comes with, my lifestyle that I've gotten.
Absolutely, man. And XFC 45 in your backyard. I mean, talk to me about that. That's got to feel pretty special, pretty lucky.
Yeah. See, I grew up about an hour north of here in a small country town, but Grand Rapids is the city around us. And when I started fighting, this is, the Deltaplex is where I fought most of my amateur fights and then a lot of my pro fights as well. So I'm always happy to throw down in Michigan, man. Like I said, win, lose, or draw, my people know I'm going to show up. And, the guy's going to have to take me out of there if he wants that W. You know what I mean? So to be able to come back and, and like I said, I work a full-time job. So I'm not somebody that's like, hey, man, let's go to Cancun to do a fight, because usually when you're doing a fight, I control a lot of my fight stuff myself because I like doing it that way because I like, being in control of my own thing. Because then later on, I can't put no blame on nobody else but myself or put anything in anybody else's hands. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like more guys should do it that way. You know what I mean? You learn a lot about yourself. So at my fights, though, I do deal with a lot of stuff and fans and tickets but I have a manager who helps and deals with some of it as well. So he's taking that load off as so that's nice. But I don't know. It's all part of the sport.
And it must feel pretty special to be in the same arena that, you're fighting your amateur career, your regional shows. And now, here you are on a big stage, on a major network, in a co-main event spot.
Yeah. And just to give back to my people, you know what I mean? And I have fans all over. I don't mean that in a bad way, but just my training partners even, these guys that have been training with me the last 2 years or 3 years that haven't gotten to see me, fight live or, even my family, a lot of my family hasn't even got to see me and some of them won't be there at this one, but they'll watch it online and my other family will be there. So, and like I said, dude, to be honest, I work, man. So, and I work Monday through Friday regardless. And if I can work the day before the fight, if my life lets me, I'm going to work. You know what I mean? So that's why I like fighting close to home. I don't like making, my vacation time turn into fighting because then that's not fair to my old lady and my family. I want to be able to take normal vacations where they don't have to worry about me getting beat up while we're out of town. You know what I mean? So I just think a little bit different than most people, I think. So I love fighting at home, sleeping in my own bed. I mean, it'd be a hard deal if they said you had to go sleep at the hotel. You know what I mean? That I probably wouldn't sign the dotted line, to be honest with you, because it's like, what kind of BS is that?
Yeah.
You know, COVID or not. You know what I mean?
And that's something that I've heard from other fighters is when, I forget who it was that I was talking to, but it was someone that trained in maybe at Extreme, but he was happy to fight at the Apex because he's like, in an hour after I fight, I'm going to be in my bed, in my living room. Like he's like, it's nothing better than being in my own house an hour after I get a win, on a big stage.
Yeah. And my wife's, pregnant, you know what I mean? So it's like, and she's not, when I fought in Iowa, I think we knew she was pregnant, but she was super early, you know what I mean? Super. Now she's more, I think we're just over halfway. And I mean, we got some other things going on with the family and stuff. So it's nice to stay close to home for this one. You know what I mean? And I think XFC knew that. You know what I mean? So that's why it's cool that, I'm lucky enough that, a couple of these XFC guys are from Michigan. So kind of helps it out.
Including the boss man, Myron.
Exactly.
And then last one for me here, talk to me about Kyle Noblitt. I mean, what are your expectations for him, from you and your team?
Dude, to be honest, I'm just excited. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? He's got a great record, kind of the same kind of story I think I have. I mean, he's fought some tough dudes and he's beat them. You know what I mean? He's got a couple losses, but everybody loses in this sport. Sounds like he's at a good gym and he's got some good things going for him. And then, his last fight, it sounded like he showed up on like 2 or 3 days notice, because originally, this is the crazy part, I was supposed to have that fight with Jack May.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be a couple other guys, and they all disappeared. And then they called me a week before the fight with the Jack May fight. And I was like, dude, I can't call my work and get 3 days off this week.
Exactly.
I mean, like I said, I'm very particular on how I do things. I don't say no to fighting. I say no to shit that don't make sense in my life. You know what I mean? Because my fighting doesn't pay all my bills. Yes, it's a good chunk of change 100%. From time to time, but I'll probably work blue collar until, I mean, even if the UFC is paying me what they're paying McGregor, you won't see me put a shovel down. You know what I mean? I'm a good man, dog.
I love that.
I that probably won't ever change. But no, just super excited, man. He's good record, good team. You know what I mean? And just excited because it seems like he shows up to fights. Doesn't have a lot of canceled fights or nothing like that. He's a young prospect like myself, and I think I noticed the other day I'm ranked 1 in the Midwest at heavyweight, and he's ranked 2nd.
Yeah,
so it's like, how fucking cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
It promotes itself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Brett, that's all I've got for you, man. I personally can't wait. This is my fight to watch at XFC 45. I tell everyone, go tune in. Brett, thank you for the time, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate you having me. Like I said, sometimes fighters don't respect this, man. It's good chance to get your story out regardless of the questions. You know what I mean? So I always appreciate it. And definitely, man, tune in.
Thank you, man.